Okay, wait, so can you just go through the lobes really fast? Because I have it written down, but I want to make sure I have. Just like what? So frontal is what? Frontal is just motor.
So I say frontal is the dating lobe. Okay?
Okay.
A, because it's on the forefront of your mind, right? Okay, so there's a lot of markers in here. Okay. So we've got our frontal lobe. Got our parietal, temporal, and occipital. Okay, frontal lobe I consider the dating lobe because what do you do on the first date? You try to show off your personality. You're like, I'm really cool. Or at very least the guy does, and you're just like, oh wow, he's very weird. And so he's trying to show off his personality. Why? Because he's got some motivations. What are those motivations? He usually wants a little motor movement. Wants to grab the girl's hand, maybe slide his arm around her, okay? So you've got personality, motivations, and motor movement for the frontal lobe. More specifically, this little section right here, what is that called? It's the precentral what?
Gyrus.
So you've got the precentral gyrus. What's its responsibility?
Primary motor cortex.
It's the primary motor cortex, so it's motor movement. Okay? Think about what we just said the frontal lobe does. So it's what does the motor movement part. Okay?
That's all it does? Motor movement?
All that you really need to know about it.
Okay.
That's so every time you move, where's that signal coming from? The precentral gyrus.
Okay.
So that's actually a lot of stuff. Okay.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay. What about, so for the rest of the lobes, all that you really need to do, unless your teacher specifically told you where memory is, but memory is in a lot of locations, which is why I don't put it on this list. But for the general breakup, I just talk about where are the 5 main senses. So what are your 5 senses that you think of?
Taste.
Okay.
Touch.
Taste,
Vision,
touch,
sight.
sight, what? Hearing,
Smell.
and smell.
Balance.
Okay, but we're not going to talk about balance
All right.
just in this list.
Okay.
But balance is right by here. But yeah, okay, so parietal lobe, what does it do?
Somatic touch.
So touch. Okay, where would you find sight?
Occipital.
Occipital lobe. What about taste? Parietal. Parietal's got both the T's. What happens in temporal lobe?
Hearing.
Hearing
Smell.
and smell. Is everybody all right with that? Okay.
What does post-central gyrus do?
That's what I was going to hit next.
Oh, perfect.
No. So you're perfectly on track. Post-central gyrus. What does it do?
Sensory touch.
So sensory touch. What did the parietal lobe cover? Touch. Sensory touch.
Sweet.
Okay.
So when it says equilibrium association area, that's just going to be...
So that would also be in the temporal lobe.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that they included that on that list.
And then
But yeah,
visceral.
hearing and balance are always connected because they're right in the same area. What were you saying?
Visceral association area.
Visceral association
Do we
area?
need to know
I think that was within the insula. I read about that on...
Within the insula as well?
Well, not like...
I don't disagree. The brain's a
I mean,
confusing thing.
I read it on the additional reading, but it said like
I
the
won't
insula
lie, I
goes
do
with the
not know.
visceral.
Okay, and
response.
then the... I think that's it.
But yeah. Random question, where is the insula?
And the lateral fissure.
Right here. It's the inferior portion of the post-central gyrus. And so it's, yeah. So, touch and taste.
Sweet.
What does the central sulcus do?
Do you know what sulci are?
The grooves. Yeah, the grooves.
Grooves. So they're an absence of space.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have a function besides separating things.
Okay.
You know, it separates. So the central sulcus separates to pre and post central gyrus.
Okay.
That's the most you could put for a function.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question about, I guess it's not really a quick question, but what's the endolymph as far as like hearing goes? Because there's the paralymph fluid, and then the endolymph, and I wasn't sure what the endolymph fluid
Correct.
was.
Have you gone over that as a class yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did.
Endolymph, is that what holds like the hair cells? Is that all involved in that?
So you've got kind of two different things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here is your oval. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to think if it's round first. It's oval
window.
first and then goes eventually.
Yeah, it is the oval.
Oval
first.
window and then
And round window.
round window,
Mhm.
okay? And this is, okay. So it affects the what lymph?
Paralymph?
Paralymph.
Mm-hmm.
So the paralymph is here.
Mm-hmm.
And the endolymph is here.
What is that a picture of you just drew?
Give me 1 second.
Should we go in the book? It's like the cinnamon roll looking thing that Brother Anderson showed us today.
Cochlea?
The cochlea.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So you've got your cochlea. All I did was straighten it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I just took a rolling pin and went.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this is the paralymph. This is the endolymph.
Okay.
Is that all we need to know about it?
No, you need to know many more things about hearing, but she asked which was which.
Oh.
So the endolymph.
Is where the
Well, I
sound
guess-
travels through?
Is the endolymph where the sound first goes in, and then the perilymph
Well,
is where the
okay.
sound comes out?
So,
Because it goes in and then out, so which,
so here's your sound right here.
Mhm.
Okay? This is how I'm drawing the sound except for, okay,
Mhm.
this is how I'm drawing the sound. It goes in
Is
and
this
quote
where you get
unquote
lower
out
rates toward the end?
through the paralymph.
so
All
it goes
right.
in and out the perilymph. What
Uh-huh.
is,
The endolymph,
is that what
there's
holds
there's areas where it vibrates this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It vibrates that and it carries it into the endolymph, and that's where you're actually going to get your hearing. That's where you have those different hairs.
Mm-hmm. So are all
That's
of
gonna
those
be the
hairs
endolymph.
combined just called the endolymph?
No.
No.
is that where tip
It's a
links
fluid.
happen?
It's a fluid.
Paralymph is a fluid, endolymph is a fluid. It's
Mhm.
just where the fluid's located.
Okay.
Is that where the tip links happen? Is in the endo?
Endolymph, correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The what happens? Sorry.
So the
Tip
tip,
links
those
of
tip
the hair
links.
cells when like the little
The
ones
stereocilia.
start leaning onto the big
Oh.
ones, and then they connect.